Ladies and gentlemen, life is full of uncertainty, unexpected events, and situations that do not go as planned. Despite our best efforts, we often find ourselves struggling against forces beyond our control. This struggle leads to frustration, stress, and a feeling of helplessness. However, peace and happiness are not found in trying to control the uncontrollable, but in understanding the limits of our power and directing our energy where it truly matters. Learning to distinguish between what we can and cannot control is a fundamental principle that leads to inner tranquility and resilience. Many people spend their lives attempting to control things that are simply beyond their influence. They worry about the opinions of others, try to manipulate outcomes, or hold on to past mistakes and regrets. The more they resist reality, the more they suffer. In contrast, true wisdom lies in recognizing what is within our power and what is not. We cannot control how others think or act, but we can control how we respond to them. We cannot stop challenges from appearing in our lives, but we can decide how we face them. When we focus on what is beyond our reach, we give external circumstances power over our emotions and well-being. We become anxious about things that may never happen, angry over the behavior of others, or disappointed when life does not unfold as expected. But the truth is, no amount of worry, frustration, or resistance will change these realities. The only thing we can control is our own mind, our perceptions, judgments, and choices. The key to a peaceful and fulfilling life is shifting our attention inward, toward mastering ourselves rather than the world around us. A person who understands this principle navigates life with a sense of calm. They do not waste energy on what they cannot change. If the weather is bad, they do not complain, they adjust. If someone treats them unfairly, they do not react with anger, they respond with wisdom. If they face a setback, they do not dwell on what has been lost, they focus on what can still be done. This way of thinking allows them to remain steady, even in the face of adversity. Letting go of what we cannot control does not mean giving up. It means redirecting our efforts where they are most effective. Instead of trying to change the past, we learn from it. Instead of fearing the future, we prepare for it without anxiety. Instead of seeking validation from others, we focus on our own values and actions. This shift in perspective is liberating. It frees us from unnecessary suffering and allows us to live with greater clarity and confidence. Imagine a person who constantly worries about how others perceive them. They overanalyze every interaction, fear rejection, and stress over things that are ultimately out of their hands. This mental burden prevents them from living fully and authentically. However, the moment they realize that they cannot control others' thoughts, they become free. They can then focus on being the best version of themselves without being weighed down by external approval. Similarly, many people dwell on past mistakes, replaying moments of failure and regret in their minds. They wish they had acted differently, but the past is unchangeable. By accepting this fact, they can stop wasting energy on what is already done, and instead use those lessons to make better choices in the present. Another common source of suffering is trying to predict or control the future. People worry about things that may never happen, fearing outcomes that are uncertain. Yet the future remains unknown, no matter how much we plan or anticipate. The best approach is to focus on the present moment, taking wise and deliberate actions, while accepting that some things will always remain unpredictable. This mindset does not mean ignoring problems or passively accepting whatever happens. Instead, it means taking thoughtful action where we can and letting go of unnecessary struggle where we cannot. It means responding rather than reacting, adapting rather than resisting, and embracing change rather than fearing it. A life lived with this understanding is a life of true peace. The storms of life will still come, but they will no longer shake us. Instead, we will meet them with a steady heart, knowing that while we cannot control the wind, we can always adjust our sails. People often measure their happiness and self-worth based on external outcomes, success, wealth, recognition, or the approval of others. They set goals, work hard, and hope that their efforts lead to the desired results. But when things do not go as planned, disappointment follows. When praise does not come, they feel unappreciated. When success is delayed, they grow restless. When failure occurs, they lose confidence. This cycle of emotional ups and downs is the result of tying our inner peace to things we cannot fully control. True freedom and happiness come when we learn to detach from external outcomes and focus instead on what is within our power. Outcomes are influenced by countless factors beyond our control. A person may prepare diligently for an opportunity, but circumstances may prevent success. An athlete may train for years, but an unexpected injury could end their career. A business person may put everything into a project, only for market conditions to change. The reality is that effort does not always guarantee results. External factors, luck, timing, and other people's decisions play a role in every outcome. When we tie our emotions and self-worth to these results, we place our peace in the hands of uncertainty. By detaching from outcomes, we shift our focus to the one thing that is always within our control: our actions. We commit to doing our best, not because we expect a specific result, but because the process itself is valuable. A writer does not write solely for recognition, but because writing itself is fulfilling. An athlete does not train only to win, but because the discipline and effort make them stronger. A leader does not act with integrity just for rewards, but because integrity itself is worth practicing. When we embrace this mindset, we find joy in the journey rather than in the destination. Expectations are often the cause of disappointment. People set their hearts on specific outcomes and become attached to how things should unfold. But life does not follow a script, and rigid expectations only create suffering. When we let go of the need for things to happen in a particular way, we open ourselves to possibilities beyond what we imagined. We learn to accept life as it comes, adapting to circumstances without losing our sense of balance. Failure, when seen through this perspective, is no longer a source of despair. If success is not entirely in our hands, then failure is not entirely our fault. We can learn from mistakes, grow from setbacks, and keep moving forward without being paralyzed by the fear of losing. A person who detaches from outcomes is not discouraged by obstacles because their sense of purpose does not depend on external validation. They understand that effort itself is meaningful, regardless of the result. This mindset also transforms relationships. Many people seek approval and validation from others, believing that their worth is determined by external opinions. But relying on praise for happiness is a dangerous path. People's opinions are unpredictable. Admiration today can turn into criticism tomorrow. A person who is free from the need for external validation is unshaken by praise or blame. They act according to their values, not to gain approval but because they believe in what they do. When we detach from external outcomes, we experience life with greater peace. We stop resisting what we cannot control and instead find fulfillment in the present moment. We are no longer slaves to success or failure, to recognition or rejection. We work hard, not for rewards, but because effort itself is meaningful. We live not for external approval, but in alignment with our inner values. In doing so, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and discover a deeper, lasting sense of contentment. Life is filled with challenges, obstacles, and unexpected hardships. No one is exempt from adversity, whether it comes in the form of personal loss, failure, rejection, or unforeseen struggles. While difficulties can bring pain and uncertainty, they also present an opportunity for growth. Strength is not found in avoiding hardships, but in facing them with resilience and wisdom. Those who embrace adversity rather than fear it discover an inner power that allows them to navigate life with courage and confidence. Difficulties test character in ways that comfort never can. When everything is easy, there is little reason to grow. But when obstacles arise, they force us to adapt, to push beyond our limits, and to develop qualities like patience, perseverance, and discipline. A person who faces hardship and refuses to be defeated by it emerges stronger and more capable. They learn that struggle is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as part of life's natural course. Many people view adversity as something unfair, a burden that should not exist. They resist hardship, complain about difficulties, and wish for an easier path. But resistance only increases suffering. When a person accepts adversity as an unavoidable part of life, they stop seeing themselves as victims and start seeing challenges as opportunities to improve. Hardships do not define a person, their response to those hardships does. The strongest individuals are not those who have never fallen, but those who have fallen and risen again, each time with greater wisdom. Pain and suffering, while uncomfortable, have a purpose. They force introspection and reveal inner strength that might otherwise remain hidden. A person who has never faced hardship may not realize their full potential, while someone who has endured and overcome struggles gains a deep sense of confidence. They no longer fear challenges because they know they have the strength to endure them. Adversity teaches resilience, the ability to keep moving forward despite obstacles, to maintain hope when things seem impossible, and to trust in one's ability to overcome. Challenges also serve as lessons. Every difficulty carries a message, something to be learned. Failure teaches humility and the importance of persistence. Loss teaches the value of what remains. Disappointment teaches patience. When a person views hardship as a teacher rather than an enemy, they transform suffering into wisdom. They begin to see that struggles are not punishments but opportunities to become wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. It is in moments of adversity that true character is revealed. Some people crumble under pressure, while others rise to the occasion. The difference is not in circumstances but in mindset. A person who sees hardship as something to endure rather than something to escape finds strength where others find despair. They do not waste time wishing for an easier path but instead focus on walking the path they are given with courage and determination. Even in the face of great suffering, there is always a choice. A person can choose to be broken by hardship, or they can choose to use it as fuel for growth. The greatest achievements, the most inspiring stories, and the deepest wisdom often come from those who have endured great struggles. Strength is not the absence of hardship, but the ability to move through it with grace, determination, and a belief in one's capacity to overcome. By facing adversity with resilience, a person discovers that they are far stronger than they ever imagined. Hardships become stepping stones, struggles become lessons, and pain becomes the foundation for unshakable inner strength. A life without purpose drifts without direction, lacking meaning and fulfillment. Many people move through life without truly considering what they stand for or why they do what they do. They chase fleeting pleasures, follow societal expectations, or pursue success without deeper reflection. However, true contentment comes not from external achievements alone, but from living with a clear sense of purpose and unwavering commitment to virtue. A meaningful life is one in which actions align with core values, and each decision is guided by integrity, wisdom, and the pursuit of what is truly good. Living with purpose means understanding what truly matters and dedicating oneself to it. Purpose is not necessarily found in grand ambitions or extraordinary achievements. It is found in the daily commitment to something greater than oneself. For some, this may be serving others, creating something meaningful, or striving for personal excellence. For others, it may simply be living each day with kindness, responsibility, and mindfulness. Whatever the purpose, it gives direction to life, preventing the aimless wandering that leads to dissatisfaction. Many people seek happiness in material wealth, status, or pleasure, believing these things will bring lasting fulfillment. However, external success without inner purpose often leaves a sense of emptiness. When people lack a guiding principle, they are easily swayed by distractions, external pressures, or momentary desires. But when a person knows their purpose, they are no longer controlled by external influences. They act with intention, choosing their path rather than being pushed by circumstances. Alongside purpose, virtue serves as the foundation of a meaningful life. Virtue is not about perfection, but about striving to live in a way that reflects wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. It means doing what is right, even when it is difficult, and making choices based on principles rather than short-term desires. A person who lives with virtue does not compromise their integrity for personal gain or allow emotions to dictate their actions. They seek to improve themselves and contribute positively to the world around them. Living virtuously does not mean avoiding mistakes or never facing challenges. It means responding to life's difficulties with wisdom and strength. When faced with hardship, a virtuous person does not act out of fear or anger, but with resilience and grace. When tempted by dishonesty, they choose honesty, even if it requires sacrifice. When others behave unjustly, they respond with fairness and integrity, refusing to lower themselves to the same level. Virtue is the guiding force that keeps a person steady, no matter what they encounter. A purposeful and virtuous life also cultivates deeper relationships. When people act with kindness, fairness, and sincerity, they build trust and meaningful connections with others. They become individuals others can rely on, not because they seek approval, but because they genuinely wish to contribute to the well-being of those around them. A life lived with purpose is not self-centered. It recognizes the importance of serving others and being a positive force in the world. Each day presents countless choices, whether to act selfishly or selflessly, to seek comfort or to pursue growth, to follow distractions or to stay true to one's values. A person who lives with purpose and virtue does not allow momentary emotions or external pressures to dictate these choices. They remain guided by their principles, knowing that a meaningful life is built through consistent effort and deliberate action. By aligning daily actions with a clear purpose and a commitment to virtue, life becomes rich with meaning. There is no need for endless searching or external validation, because fulfillment comes from within. A person who lives in this way does not fear failure, hardship, or even the passing of time, for they know they have lived in alignment with what truly matters. In a world that constantly pushes people to chase more success, more wealth, more recognition, it is easy to overlook the abundance already present in life. Many people spend their days longing for what they do not have, dwelling on past regrets, or worrying about an uncertain future. In doing so, they miss the beauty and richness of the present moment. Practicing gratitude and presence is the key to unlocking deep and lasting contentment. It shifts the focus from what is lacking to what is already here, allowing one to experience life with a sense of appreciation and peace. Gratitude is not just an occasional feeling, it is a way of seeing the world. It is the ability to recognize the value in even the simplest aspects of life: a warm meal, a kind word, the beauty of nature, or the presence of loved ones. Many people take these things for granted, believing that happiness lies somewhere in the future, waiting to be attained. They say, "I will be happy when I get that job, that house, that relationship." But once they reach these milestones, they quickly set their sights on the next goal, never feeling truly satisfied. Gratitude breaks this cycle by teaching that fulfillment is not found in distant achievements, but in appreciating what is already here. A person who practices gratitude does not wait for perfect conditions to be happy. They find reasons to be thankful, even in difficult times. Challenges become opportunities for growth, setbacks become lessons, and hardships reveal inner strength. Gratitude does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that life is perfect. Rather, it is the choice to focus on what is still good, even when faced with struggles. This mindset transforms the way one experiences life. Instead of feeling weighed down by problems, one feels uplifted by the gifts that remain. Presence, like gratitude, is a skill that must be cultivated. Many people go through life without truly experiencing the present moment. They are either lost in memories of the past, replaying mistakes and regrets, or anxiously anticipating the future, worrying about things that may never happen. In doing so, they miss the only moment that truly exists, the present. Life unfolds in the now, yet so many minds are elsewhere, caught in a cycle of distraction and mental noise. When a person is fully present, they engage with life in a deeper, more meaningful way. A simple conversation becomes more enriching when one truly listens instead of thinking about what to say next. A walk in nature becomes a source of peace when one notices the details: the sound of the wind, the colors of the trees, the rhythm of each step. Even ordinary daily tasks become more fulfilling when approached with mindfulness, whether it is eating, working, or simply breathing. Presence allows a person to experience life fully rather than merely passing through it. Modern life is filled with distractions, constant notifications, endless streams of information, and pressures to always be doing more. Many people live in a state of mental clutter, rarely taking a moment to simply be. But true peace is not found in busyness, it is found in awareness. The ability to pause, to be still, and to fully experience the moment is a rare and valuable skill. It allows one to appreciate life rather than rushing through it. Practicing gratitude and presence also deepens relationships. When a person is present with others, they offer their full attention rather than being half engaged, lost in their own thoughts or glued to a screen. They listen with genuine interest, respond with empathy, and appreciate the time spent together. Gratitude strengthens relationships by shifting focus away from what is missing or imperfect and toward the positive aspects of those connections. Instead of dwelling on flaws or conflicts, A grateful person sees the kindness, support and love that others bring into their life. Both gratitude and presence require effort and intentionality. It is easy to fall back into old habits of distraction and dissatisfaction. But like any skill, these practices grow stronger with time. A simple way to cultivate gratitude is by regularly reflecting on things to be thankful for, whether through journaling, quiet reflection, or simply expressing appreciation to others. Presence can be practiced by consciously bringing attention back to the moment, whether through mindful breathing, deep listening, or fully immersing oneself in an activity. By embracing gratitude and presence, life becomes richer, more meaningful, and more peaceful. The restless search for happiness fades, replaced by the realization that fulfillment has always been within reach. There is no need to wait for some distant moment to feel content. Everything needed for joy already exists in the here and now. Holding on too tightly to things, whether they are past experiences, expectations, fears, or even relationships, often creates unnecessary suffering. Many people cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves them, because letting go feels like losing control. However, true freedom is not found in grasping at everything, but in releasing what weighs in mind and heart down. Letting go is not a sign of weakness or defeat. It is an act of courage, wisdom, and strength. It is the key to a lighter, more peaceful life, free from the burdens of unnecessary attachment. One of the greatest sources of suffering comes from holding on to the past. People replay old mistakes, relive painful moments, or long for times that have already passed. They carry regrets and resentments, allowing them to shape their present. But the past, no matter how much one dwells on it, cannot be changed. It is like carrying a heavy bag that only slows progress. Letting go of past mistakes does not mean ignoring them, but learning from them and moving forward without allowing them to define the present. Similarly, releasing past pain allows healing to take place, making room for new experiences and opportunities. Fear is another form of attachment that limits freedom. Many people hold on to fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. They hesitate to take risks, avoid change, and resist stepping outside their comfort zones. But growth and freedom lie beyond fear, not within it. When a person lets go of the need for certainty and control, they open themselves up to life's possibilities. They learn to trust their ability to adapt and face challenges rather than avoiding them. Expectations can also become a trap. People often have rigid ideas about how life should unfold, how others should behave, or what they must achieve to be happy. When reality does not match these expectations, disappointment follows. But life is unpredictable, and people cannot control every outcome. Letting go of expectations allows a person to experience life as it is, rather than as they think it should be. It frees them from frustration and allows them to embrace each moment with openness and acceptance. Relationships, too, require a balance of holding on and letting go. Many people struggle with attachment to others in a way that creates dependency, jealousy, or an unwillingness to accept change. They try to control relationships, fearing loss or rejection. But love and connection cannot thrive in control. They flourish in trust and freedom. Letting go in relationships does not mean abandoning people, but allowing them to be themselves, free from unrealistic demands. It means understanding that every person has their own path and that true connection is based on mutual respect, not possession. Material possessions and external status are also things people struggle to release. Society often equates success with wealth, recognition, and accumulation, leading many to chase these things in search of fulfillment. But true freedom is not found in possessing more, but in needing less. A person who is not attached to material things is free from the constant worry of losing them. They are able to appreciate what they have without letting it define their worth. Letting go does not mean giving up or becoming indifferent. It means releasing resistance, surrendering to what is, and trusting that life unfolds as it should. It means choosing peace over struggle, acceptance over resistance, and flow over control. The more one lets go, the more space they create for joy, clarity, and true freedom. Letting go is not about losing, it is about gaining freedom from fear, from regret, from the need to control every aspect of life. It is about trusting the journey, embracing change, and making space for peace and joy. When we release what no longer serves us, we open ourselves to new possibilities, deeper connections, and a life unburdened by unnecessary struggles. True freedom is found not in holding on, but in surrendering to the natural flow of life with an open heart and a clear mind.